Who's your idol? 3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to episode 329 of the Shower Podcast, the podcast where I'm in my shower and you do you. I'm your host, Chip, and welcome back properly. It's been a long time since I was here, both literally and on camera, so it's always pleasant, though it gives me the vibe that it's really yesterday when I started, and we are 1 month away from completing the challenge. Very excited about that. So yeah, I won't go too long into this, but overall, it's always pleasant to be back. Before we start, as usual, if you end up liking this episode, remember that liking and subscribing really mean a lot for me. They're just one click, but they really make the difference. Thank you very much for considering it. So, what would I like to talk about today? It's, again, fully shower podcast style, in the sense that it's a stream of consciousness with a single topic in mind, and let's see where it leads us. And it's obviously based on personal experience. But I think that, as usual, this might be applicable for a lot of you. So the concept is, as you've seen from the title, is who's your idol? And this whole concept of idealizing people. The problem that appears when doing so is that there will be a moment, by definition, because idols don't exist. There is no such thing as a perfect human being. At one point, they will disappoint you. And this can become and can come in many, many ways. My personal experience, this has come in a lot of ways. People that I respected and that I saw as very important for me, again, talking about people that are outside of my life, so people that I've never met. Because, again, I'll keep it short, but the people around you, the people that you love, you should love them, you should be with them, but never idolize them, because in that case, be sure that they cannot be perfect. You have to love them because they are imperfect, and you should make the best of what they offer to you. But closing this side note, I remember reading, as I was like, I think, 14, 15, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, a famous book that you either love it or hate it. As of right now, rereading it and knowing the person and everything that goes beyond it, not something that I would necessarily recommend, but at the same time, not something that I hate. Like, it's there, it was there for a reason, and overall, it opened a lot of ideas for me. And the good thing that I did is that I didn't go into it blatantly, but overall, some of those things you should bring with you. Same thing happened with Elon Musk. I remember reading his autobiography, again, a lot of time ago. And it was still in the era in which he was a pretty cool person. Turning 2025, lots of things happened. Definitely not the kind of person that I would like to speak about, or I would say I'm a fan. But at the same time, due to the fact that I didn't idolize the person, and I kept like a small possibility that that person could fall and actually show his true side, I was able to, let's say, adapt my vision about this person. And the same happened recently with some influencers / streamers, people that I follow, and that overall I, let's say, consume on a daily basis, be it with videos, be it with streams. Some of them I even met in person. And the interesting bit is that given the amount of time that you spend with people, with these people, there is this famous for some, not so famous for other, that I don't know if it's defined the same, but I imagine so. It's called parasociality. So it's this idea that you know somebody because you spend a lot of time with it, but it's actually somebody that you know nothing about. And indeed, there was a mini scandal about them where, let's say, some more hidden parts and some behaviors that were not necessarily good, but even here, it depends, were, let's say, shown to the public and came across to everybody. And the interesting bit, besides my take, that was, okay, cool. Like, again, I don't give too much of an importance to these kind of people. But what was interesting and what I would like to share with you today and made you think is that there was a clear split online because, this debate happened online, but it could happen in the news, it could happen in a group of friends. There will always be a split between who blatantly supports their position and people that completely go against them. And again, by definition, this cannot be true because you can't be fully right and fully wrong at the same time. Of course, the truth stays in the middle, as always. But at the same time, it is difficult if you are a bit in the middle to trust one or the other position. And the thing that happened to me and that I really recommend to you is that to really look at your position, look at yourself, and understand where you are. Because if you are to either extreme in that position, even though you might have your bias, even though you might have your perfect ideas in mind, and even though you might really, really believe that that person did nothing wrong or that person did something extremely wrong, you still have to remember that there are gray areas, and as long as you put yourself at either end of the spectrum, you will be wrong. How wrong? It depends where the reality swings, if more towards right or more towards wrong. But by definition, again, used it a lot, but that's the whole point of today's discussion, is that you have to remember that your position should consider both parts. And the message for you and the idea that I would like you to think about today is when things happen in your life, when you learn about things in your life, always consider the other side of the coin. Even though it might be difficult because that information is just not so easily available, or because you really don't want to see the other part of the coin because you'd be like, I don't know if this is something that I really want to know, but you should always, always, always consider that there is something on the other side, and yeah, you have to consider it if you really want to have a complete picture. If you want to be blind, that's okay, but remember that you're not experiencing the whole thing. Having said that, that was all for today. Thank you very much for listening. I know that this whole concept was a bit generic, but let's say that this exact thing that I described can be utilized and has happened in a very recent and very important conflict worldwide. And it's clear, if you are in one position, what is the reality, what happened, how would you, let's say, in which position you would put yourself. But there is also that other side of the coin that should be considered, not because you want to support it, not because you believe that, let's say, it has the same importance to you, but you cannot ignore it. Because the moment that you ignore it, you will not be able to understand the whole situation. Thank you very much for listening. If you made it so far, feel free to interact with this content in any way, shape, or form you like. And as usual, stay consistent, stay resilient. This was the Shower Podcast, and I'll see you tomorrow.